I'm going to show you guys how to make a dragon scarf. They are my favorite kind of scarf to make. Usually it is 1 to 3 balls of yarn depending on the yardage that you use. I definitely suggest using sort of smaller yarn for this as opposed to larger yarn, mainly because of how much yarn it uses. If you use something that's too thick, it is very heavy on your neck eventually when you wear it. So basically, I will show you how to start off this little nubbin right here, and then what you do as you are knitting is on both sides, as you can see, there's these sort of holes on this side. So those are made with yarn overs on both sides that you're knitting. And then on the opposite side, you can sort of count the purl bump rows, and after 5 rows up, we cast off 6 stitches. And because of the yarn overs, you're increasing by 1 stitch every single round. And basically, once it's long enough on your needles, you just cast off that edge and you're done. You can make it as long as you want. So to start, I'm going to grab my new yarn I'm going to be making this with. Doesn't really matter what cast on you choose for this, since you're only going to be casting on 3 stitches. So in this case, I'm going to do the long tail cast on to cast on 2 more stitches. 1, 2. Then you switch hands. Make sure I always hold my tail in my hand so I don't knit with that one. So the first row, you knit 2, knit 2 stitches, and then you bring your yarn to the front for a yarn over, switch hands again, knit 2 stitches, bring your yarn to the front for a yarn over, knit 2 more, switch hands, knit 2, yarn over, knit to the end of your row, switch hands, knit until your last 2 stitches, yarn over, knit 2, and then for this one, I'm starting it on smaller needles just for the sake of the video, but I will switch it to larger needles in the round, sort of like that other scarf I showed you once I run out of room on this one, but you can always start it on the bigger needles if you wish. As you can see, we're starting to get that edge of holes, so it's easier to keep track of which side you need to be doing your yarn overs. And it's always leaving the last 2 as knit. And then on the opposite side from the yarn overs is where we are going to be casting off. You can count your rows of purl bumps to know when you will be casting off. But as you can see, it grows pretty fast, and I feel like it's a lot more fun than just a regular old rectangular scarf. One, two, three, four, 5. So Now we're going to cast off. So knit the first two, and then you take this back one over the front one, knit, take the back one over the front one, knit, back one over the front one. So this is casting off to create those little dragon spines. And it sort of looks like knit stitches along the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one more. Just do 6. Cast off. And then you just continue as you were before. Knit until the last two. Yarn over, knit the last two. Switch hands. Knit 2. Yarn over. Keep going. Basically, you just keep track of your purl rows, and every time you get to 5, you cast off, and eventually you get a nice long scarf that just keeps getting bigger and bigger from that little first edge. Happy knitting!